show, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. It is so great to have you here on this beautiful Thursday, August 22nd for SMP Live. I am Jane Clauss. I'm going to be hosting for you today and hanging with you for this hour. Our buddy Blaine he's out doing business. And you know what? We love it when Blaine is doing business because that means he's bringing you all the new machines, all the new products, and all the great deals for every single week that you see him right here on your screen. So welcome to it, my friends. I'm excited to hang out here with you today. I'm watching you all say hello to me. So hi, Jill. Let's see. Hi, Dorothy in Kentucky. Wolf guys. Hi, what's happening in Chicago? Well, Chicago is happy that you are here joining us today. I don't know what you mean, but I am going to go easy. That's totally cool. And Anne, thank you for talking about the thumbnail. We're going to talk about that piece later. Cindy, Crystal, Dawn in Fairfield, Connecticut. You're the second person in 1 week's time that I talked to in Fairfield this week, but certainly jump in, say hello. If you have questions for me today, right now, just about anything, you can pop them in there and I'll certainly answer them the best I can. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jane Clauss, and I'm actually a television and radio personality by trade. I've been in the business for like 30 years, but I've always been a maker. I've always been a sewist. I learned how to sew when I was just 7 years old, and my mother was an amazing sewist. Like, she was so good. She's probably like you guys, like perfect stitches, all the rules. I don't really follow the rules. I just throw it in there and I just make beautiful things. But my mother didn't like me stapling my Barbie clothes together, as we've heard so many times from so many of our guests, that our parents, our mothers were like, yeah, time for you to learn how to sew. And it started then. I used to sell scrunchies in college. I'd like do it a side hustle before side hustles were cool. And I've just always sewn. So I was like, how can I marry what I do, television and radio, with what I love? And I have found a way to do that. And it makes me so happy to be here with you because I love hanging out with this like-minded community. And thank you, Tammy. The emojis right over here. It's you can find it on my website, actually, JaneClaus.com. Go to the DIY section and you'll find, I think that's probably under home decor, but there's a little recipe there on how to make that if you would like to learn how. But thank you so much again for joining us. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking to our friends at Handi Quilter, and our special guest is going to be doing a fantastic demo. So just hang tight for that because we've got lots and lots of things to talk about. But this is a great way, I think, to get inspired. What are you making on this day in August, end of summer? Are you getting excited for fall decor? Are you working on your holiday gift giving? Because I know that we are working ahead. Is anybody else doing a side hustle right now and getting geared up for some art shows and festivals so you can sell your stuff? So it is awesome to be here again. I am here for you. I am one of you. I just get to be the lucky person that gets to be here talking to you. So I want to say a quick personal story. Last weekend, and I has nothing to do with sewing, but it has to do with like domestic divaing, which I love because I know you guys are just like me. You love all the things. You love to cook. You love to sew. You love to host. I had a great family party at my house with all of my family from both sides. It was my sister's 75th birthday. So happy birthday, Maria. And it was lovely to have the love of family around me. And I know that you guys can feel that. So it was just something special that I did in my life. And I'd love to do it again soon. So you guys are all invited next time. So just make sure you send me your addresses. I'll send you all information. Just go to JaneClaus.com and we can be friends. Okay. This is my question for you. Last time I was here, a couple of weeks ago, I think I asked you a question. I can't remember, but the question of the day, we do this a lot on the radio. Question of the day. And just you can answer it now. If you could only wear one color for the rest of your life, what would it be? You guys feel free to write that in. I'm going to look at some of your notes to see what everybody is working on. If you can only wear one color for the rest of your life, I think mine would be yellow. I love yellow. But then would it be black? Because everything goes with black and I could always add a splash of color to it. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Blue, purple, black. Yeah, so you can always add it. Turquoise. That's a good one. I love it. Blue. Lots of blues. Everybody loves their blue. Color for the rest of my life would be red tones. That's good. I love red. Yeah, greens, blues, a lot of turquoise. Magenta. Favorite color is green. All good. Okay, just remember that when you're making your next project and see how you can incorporate all those colors together. Okay, good. Hey, Lisa, you got your scanning cut. I love that. Pale yellow is good. All colors of yellow. They make me happy when I see colors of yellow. Okay, thanks for playing with my game, everybody. All right. So, of course, you know, a lot of blacks too. Okay, you know that Blaine, sorry, I get sidetracked and I'm actually hosting the show, so I can't read your comments. When Blaine's here, I'm going to let you get a little peek behind the curtain. When Blaine's here and he's talking about all the great deals he has and everything's going on, I get to sit and just read and like comment and just, you know, I kind of get sidetracked and I get in there. But today I have to focus. I gotta focus on you and keep the train rolling down the tracks in this big production that we're doing called SMP Live. So speaking of SMP Live, Blaine, of course, has so many events for us to tune into and be a part of. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit. So get your calendars out. Denim is fun too, yes, but get your calendars out and let's talk about all the things that are coming up for SMP. We've got the live show calendar every Thursday. Every Thursday, you've got your SMP Live show. I know that I'm filling in one more time for our friend Blaine, but that's every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which would be noon Central time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's every Thursday. You can set your clock to it because they are always here. Blaine is here to make this show happen. And he's been doing it for years. And I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Hey, Joanne Banco, I see you right there. And then we've got SewFest coming up in September, National Sewing Month. We love that. And so SewFest is coming the week of the 9th through the 13th. Now, check that out. That is, what is that? 5 hours of programming, of sewing, of creativity. I love it. So that starts at 10:30 Central Time. That goes to 5:30 Central Time. And of course, if you are in any other time zone, do the math because I know we all can. So it's 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 starts. That's the entire week. It's all Blaine. It's all Jane. I will be here getting super excited to sew and learn alongside you. Yes, it is going to be so much fun. Now, this last event, October 7th through 11th. This is so cool. It's called National Trade-In Week. And I was like, well, I don't understand National Trade-In. What does that mean? Well, Blaine, of course, is like, he's always thinking of you guys. So here's the deal. You can trade in from anywhere nationally. Normally, if you have a machine, you want to trade it in, you have to go to the store. And if you go to one of the stores, that means you have to be in San Diego. But here's the deal. You can trade in from anywhere. All you need to do is take a picture of what you want to trade, give us some information about it, and SMP will send you the label to send it in. And then you can decide what machine you're going to trade it in for. So they'll send you the label, you send it in, you get a new machine. It is like the coolest thing ever. And normally, and this is why I think it's so cool, because you could live anywhere and you could still trade in the machine that you have. And it can be a machine that SMP, you can buy from SMP. But if you have something that you think you want to trade, it would be worth sending in the information, taking a picture. As we get closer to that week, Blaine and Kyle and the crew, Roger and everybody there, they'll put up a page on the website so you can learn more information about trading in a machine. Don't you think that's cool? I love that. All right. So that is what's happening. Oh, hi, here I am. That's what's happening. I have so much notes here. That's what's happening with SMP. But let me tell you what's happening right now today. And this is super exciting. This is something I want you to keep in mind as we're going through the demo today from our friends from Handi Quilter. This is really cool because financing is such a hot topic these days. Well, today, as we are finding out what we can buy and as we're doing the demo, Handi Quilter, you can get 0% interest financing for 60 months. This is so cool. It's so unheard of. And I'll tell you why, because most vendors only can offer 36 to 48 months. So as you're thinking about what you want to buy today from Handi Quilter, and of course we're demoing one machine, we'll talk to you about a couple of the other ones, but if this is on your list, 0% financing for 60 months. That is such a great deal. And also today, when you buy any long arm machine, you can choose your own bundle. So let's talk about these bundles. So this is happening today. So bundle number one, you get a free highlight. So the highlights, you see that little highlight bar right above the machine right there? That's the highlight bar. It's got that natural daylight that we all love that helps us see our projects. I'm always like trying to put my sewing table or whatever I'm working on closer to a window so I can get that natural daylight. And again, if you choose this one, it doesn't matter what frame you get. So they'll send you the light that works with your frame. So if you get the 5 foot, the 8 foot, the 10 foot, the 12 foot frame, they will send you the proper light to match your frame. That's up to a $700 retail value. Oh, that's free, by the way. The next bundle is the free ruler bundle. So that includes right there, the ruler base, the Surefoot, the Handi Grip, and an assortment of rulers. That's a $350 plus retail value. You can see right there on the left-hand side, those are all the rulers you get, but that's a lot. That's a lot of help right there. That's a thank you very much for that free ruler bundle. Or if you're like, I've got the lights, I've got rulers, I want more designs, I want to get extra creative, I want more, because we know more is more and less is a bore. So when you buy a long arm machine today, you can choose the bundle of free digital designs. And so you're going to get lots of new designs. Just imagine how you'll get inspired and you'll get creative with all the new designs. That's up to a $500 retail value. So keep all of that in mind today as we're watching the demo and then talking about the other machines from Handi Quilter. Today, we're going to be talking about the Moxie XL, and also we're going to talk about the Moxie XL with Pro Stitcher Light. There you go. There it is on the screen. Now, you're looking at it right there on the screen. We're going to get to the demo in just a minute, and we'll talk about the price. We'll talk about the wink, wink, call-in special. But I got to say this. So I was looking and prepping for this show, and I saw the thumbnail, and I thought to myself, so here's the thumbnail. This is what there it is. I'm actually holding it up too. Yeah, here. You see that? Okay, if you could put it back up so we don't have to look at me looking. There you go. I saw this and I was like, well, wait a minute. Mighty XL Powerhouse. Thank you, Roger, for thinking of this. Are they talking about the machine or are they talking about me? Moxie XL with PSL? Or are they talking about Jane with a little Moxie? I'm not sure who the powerhouse is, but I like it. I'm actually going to use that branding for myself today. Moxie XL Powerhouse. I love it. I think that might just be a new nickname we should use. Moxie XL Powerhouse. You guys can take it, but you got to thank Roger for for the name. I love it. All right. Thanks, guys. That's funny. Here, I'm going to print it out, put it on my wall of keepsakes. So I think we should get to the show, don't you? Okay. So joining us and our guest, because this is perfect timing. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, we're going to do the demo. We're going to show you how you get the machine. I'm going to show you a couple more machines. We're going to revisit that 0% financing. Don't forget 60 months, 0% financing on each machine that you buy from Handi Quilter today. Plus, you get a free bundle if you buy the long arm machine. You can choose that bundle today, and we will go through those again. But just remember that while we're watching. We're talking about the Moxie XL with PSL. And our guest today is Shauna Westergard. She is a national educator from Handi Quilter. Now, Shauna considers herself to be an accidental long arm quilter because she inherited her long arm long before she ever had finished piecing a quilt top. So once she got the long arm set up, she jumped in with both feet and quilted over 60 projects in the first year that she had her long arm. She's a pattern designer that loves teaching the beginner quilter and has created a block of the month group to help quilters develop their skills. She's done so much. Shauna loves free motion quilting and really enjoys working with Pro Stitcher. She excels with testing tension, planning quilt path designs, and keeping quilts square and straight. That's great. And knowing the ins and outs of owning a long arm. So she is the perfect person to have here today. She loves quilting and is consistently positive and bubbly, even better. I love that positive attitude all the way, which is a perfect attribute when teaching new quilters to love and master new techniques. Shauna is excited to share the joy of creating with all of you. So I need a big, huge SMP warm welcome to Shauna Westergard. Hey, Shauna. Oh, hi, Shauna. We can't hear you yet. Okay. No, no, not yet, but we will. You got your best people working on it. Okay. That's fine. That's what Ivana, and I'll
have my mic on.
People need help keeping things square. Oh, for 1 second we had you. Everyone, just keep your hands together.
Oh, you had me, and then it went away. Don't move.
Don't move. That's the key. Oh,
is it working now or not yet?
Yeah, it's working perfectly. Oh, now it's not working.
Is it working now?
Yes.
Okay, it's my mic.
It's your mic.
Here.
And
if you want to, just take it out of the thing.
Okay.
1 second. So sorry, guys.
We'll give Shauna just a minute. If you guys have any questions about today, if you have any questions about your 0% financing for 60 months, which is fantastic, put those up. I'll answer them as much as I can. The gremlins are getting Shauna this morning, which is totally fine because we got it covered. I do want to say this, and I forgot. We have prizes at the end of the show. So at the end, I want you to hang out, and we are going to be giving away a bunch of prizes because Blaine loves to give away things. And if Blaine loves it, I love it, you love it. So that's what happens. Yes, Joanne, there is so much to remember when doing a live show. What you guys don't know about my live show is that I have things all around me so that I can remember and see what I need to remember for today, right? So again, we did our question of the day. They think the last week, tech gremlins. Actually, you know what? Shauna has a techie husband, so we might have to ask about that. Exactly, because I feel like if you have a techie husband, he's probably working on it right now, right? Yeah. Okay. So I want to know what you guys are working on. I want to know what color you're going to wear for the rest of your life, and then I want to know if you pick the color you're going to wear, is it only for a decade and then we get to change our color? Because we change our minds, don't we? Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's put back up those bundles. Let's talk about that. Oh, hey, there's Shauna.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Is it working now?
It's working. We got you.
No? Can you hear me? Good?
We got you. Woo.
Good?
Okay. Shauna,
good.
Everyone is excited to have you here.
My mic cord went.
Oh.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, my God, so great. So, Shauna, I brought this up. And
Is it not working?
No, it's good. It's good. Can you hear me? Yeah, good. Okay. Your husband, you said you have 4 children and a techie husband. So I'm curious, did your, tell us about the kids and what they're doing. Are they back at school? And the techie husband, he should have you all hooked up here with the technical stuff. What does that mean?
So kiddos are back in school and I'm thrilled. They really needed it. So did I. And you don't get nearly as much sewing time when kids are home for the summer. So, and techie husband totally would hook me up, but I'm actually here in the Handi Quilter studio. I'm local to Handi Quilter. And so I'm able to come into their filming studio because then I get to use all of the cool machines that they have in studio too. So we're using the Moxie XL today. And at home I have an Amara. So it's fun for me because I get to play with different machines.
I know. Isn't it like that's your job? You wake up every day. You're like, that's my job. I get to go play on these machines that I love so much.
I know.
So you are a
it's true. I love playing on the machines.
You are a transplant. So you grew up in Colorado and then you moved to the mountains of Utah, right?
Yes. Well, there's mountains in both states. Luckily, I love the mountains, so it works out both ways.
But so you're transplanted.
Yeah, I love being here in Utah. I get to be. So I actually am originally from Utah and transplanted to Colorado, and now I'm back here. I just keep moving all over.
You were just back and forth to 2 places.
Yeah.
I heard that you love the mountains just as much as you like Mountain Dew.
Oh yes, I love Mountain Dew. It will be my downfall. It's wonderful. I can't stop. It's amazing.
Keep going. The microphone is going in and out just a little bit, but you do come back in. So I just want to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So far you're good. But I just want to make sure if we do lose you, I'll pop back in when you're doing your demo and just let you know. I do want to ask you this. So I talked about, we're all domestic divas, like we can do it all. You are a true domestic diva. Because you could really do it all, but you also are fluent in sign language. Was that part of the degree that you had in the child and family studies?
No, that was just a perk. I just have people in my life that are deaf, and so I am fluent in sign language, and I was able to get enough college credit that it's part of my degree. So if my mic goes out, I can just start signing for everyone, but you won't understand if you don't know sign language. So
I love it. That is so cool. Maybe you can do both. Even if your mic doesn't go out, I think it's so fun. We can learn from you today, not just about the Moxie XL with PSL, but we can learn a little sign language. Let me ask you this too. You play the piano and the violin. Like, do you ever sit down?
A lot. I sit down a lot. Well, you have to sit down when you're playing the piano anyway. So it's interesting. I feel like I can do everything, but I have to remind myself that, Rome wasn't built in a day. Patterns won't be written in a day. And sometimes you have to put the patterns down to help the kids. And sometimes you have to set up your pro stitcher so it can do the quilting while you go make dinner. You find all these little tricks to make it all happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're so excited to have you here. When we went at the back end, we're going to have everybody check out your website, your social media, which is ladybugthreads.com, ladybugthreads_quilting on Instagram. We're going to do that. Remind everybody how they can get a hold of you. But I'm really excited to see the demo right now about the Moxie XL with Pro Stitcher Lite. I'll let you take it away. Again, if your audio goes out, I'll just pop in and let you know. We can get that fixed.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. That would be a big help.
All right, everybody. I'm going to let you take it away, Shauna. We'll be back.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'll show you what we're going to work on today. It's just a simple little wall hanging that's a mini quilt. It's a bunch of different quilt blocks that I just kind of put together. I'll turn it this way so you can see. And the wonder about this is I can hang it long or short depending on how we end up quilting it. And you can see I have this blank block in the middle just with some low volume prints. And that is where we get to play a little bit with Pro Stitcher. I've left it so that we could do a cute design. If you don't end up getting Pro Stitcher, you can still do a similar wall hanging like this. And then you could end up doing some hand embroidery in here. You could do some applique, and it's limitless the kind of things you can do when you have blank space like this. For me, as a long arm quilter, I love when I have blank space in the quilt because then it gives me place to play and to try new things, to do free motion quilting, all sorts of things. The other fun thing about this, you can see most of them are blues with a little bit of yellow. I love navy blue and white. And so the best advice I had from another quilter, actually from Christina here at Handi Quilter, she told me that when she's trying out a new pattern, she will make it in scrap fabric, in fabrics that she likes, do a whole bunch of similar blues, yellows, white, whatever it is that you're going to do. And that way, when you are done testing the block, you end up with a bunch of orphan blocks, but you can put them all in one quilt together and turn it into a little wall hanging. You could do a table runner with it. You could do placemats. You can even, if you're doing enough different blocks, you can get a whole entire quilt top just from testing quilt blocks in the same colorways. So I thought that was brilliant, and I've taken that to heart and started doing it with a lot of the quilts that I'm doing. So this is what we're going to play with today. We're going to do a little bit of rulers. Hopefully we can get a little bit of Pro Stitcher in. For everyone that's watching, if you have comments, please put the comments, you know, if you have questions, put them in the comment section. I do have some helpers here that can read the questions for me. Also, if the volume on my mic goes out, you can say something there too, just so that we can try and make sure everyone's getting all the information. So I'm going to start by showing you, I have my backing on the frame, but it's not pulled tight because I was going to do I have two last pins to put in so I can show you. So here I've got the top of my fabric. This is the backing fabric, and I have it put on so that the colorful side is down and the wrong side is up. And I'm pinning it to my leader. This fabric back here is called the leader, and it's what we attach the quilt to so that we can have it pulled tight on the frame. And I'm just going to pin here at the top so that it holds the fabric attached nicely. And I've already pinned across here. When I get to the very end, I actually turn a pin around and stitch and pin it the other way, just so I don't stab myself on accident. I don't know about you. Sometimes I'm a little bit clumsy. The funny thing about that, as I was taking my kiddos to school today, my 5-year-old knew that I was coming to teach quilting, and she said, "Good luck, Mom. Don't pin yourself with your needle." I was a little bit worried because maybe she jinxed me. Just kidding. We're going to be just fine. So now that I have it all pinned, I've got my pins where I need them. I'm going to go ahead and pull this tight. And while I pull my leaders tight, it looks like we've got a question. Linda asked, what do you put on the rails to hold? Does that stay on always? Great question. Linda asked, what are we putting on the rails to hold it, and does it stay always? So the leaders come with the frame. So this Moxie that we're going to quilt with today, this machine head is called a Moxie XL, and the machine itself, just the sewing machine, just the long arm, is called the machine head or the long arm, and then we have it on the frame. And this frame that we're on has the poles. It comes with everything included. So when you buy this machine from Jane or from Blaine, it has this fabric, it has the leaders, it'll have your poles, it has the entire frame set up. It comes with this long arm machine head, it comes with a carriage, and that's kind of hard to see with how I've got this set up. When I pull the machine further over, you can see, but this machine is sitting on wheels, which are sitting on a carriage. The carriage also has wheels on it, so it's what enables the machine to glide effortlessly across the frame. And this frame itself will come in 8-foot sections is the most common. You can also do this frame in a 10-foot section. It comes in 2 4-foot sections, but you can purchase an additional 2-foot section. So if you are working with a smaller space and you're not sure you could do a full 10-foot, you can do 8 feet. I've even heard people will set it up at 6 feet, but if you've got the space, I would go as big as you can. I also would say that about when people ask what size of long arms should I get, because this Moxie has 18 inches of throat space. It's 18 inches from here to here. And the Moxie XL is 18. The Moxie, so right directly behind it, I have the other Moxie on the frame. We're not going to be using this today, but it's here for the studio purposes. And this Moxie, just the regular Moxie, is only 16 inches throat space. So when you're considering purchasing a long arm, you want to consider how much space you have, and in that space that you're able to use, you want to get the biggest throat space that you can, because every long armor that I've ever talked to, they always say, "Oh, I wish I had more throat space." I wish I had more throat space. So the Moxie XL is a really great machine because when you're starting out, it's very budget friendly. It's in a price point it's a lot more easier to figure out the financing for a machine that's an entry-level machine. And that's what this is. The Moxie XL is an entry-level machine. And while I'm talking, I'm just putting some batting on here, and I'm going to tuck it under my bars, my poles, just to have it get out of the way. So, the other part I'm going to say, I have four poles that are here on the frame, right? And you were asking what it's attached to. These leaders attach to the poles with a really, really long Velcro strip, which is actually really helpful. At first, you might think, oh, that's not sturdy, but that's not really true. It holds incredibly well. And the point of it is, if you're like me and you don't stitch perfectly, you set something up wrong, it's actually really easy to just take off the Velcro and reattach the leader if you need to. I also know people will do that. They'll get extra sets of leaders. And if they have a quilt that they're working on that is an art quilt or that needs a lot of custom quilting, they will attach it to their leader. And then if they need to put another quilt on in between, they'll take off the leader and put a separate leader set on so they can quilt other things in between. So it's really helpful to have these leaders be attachable or detachable. So I hope that answers that question. So this leader, you can tell right here, this pole, I don't have anything attached to it. It's just got the leader. I have not attached my quilt top just because it's such a small quilt top. I'm not going to need to attach it here. I already pinned the backing fabric on this pole right here. It was already pinned, prepared, ready to go. And then I just showed you pinning up here at the top. And now we can place this down and be ready to go. I do like to tuck it under this pole as I'm working, because this is essentially how it would be if I had a quilt big enough that I had to roll it onto this pole. It will be tucked under, feeding through like this. So, and I'm going to put this on sideways because I want to have a little bit more area and space to play while we're doing this. Now, I also want to tell you a few little things about the machine while we're just getting this set up and squared away. This machine will come with bobbins. It will come with needles. It will come with 2 feet. It comes with a closed foot and an open toe foot. So the one that we have on here is the closed foot. I also have a ruler base on here. This is not included with the initial purchase, but it's an extra that I do recommend you get, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of ruler work. I also recommend channel locks. So that's here on my handlebar. I just keep this here all the time. It's really incredible to have. You can use this for straight line quilting without having a computer. I know sometimes when you're considering purchasing a long arm, it's a lot to figure out if you want to have Pro Stitcher, which is the computerized element to the long arm. If you're not sure you want to get Pro Stitcher yet, but you want to do straight line quilting, this is an incredible little piece and it's very affordable, and you just put it on the wheel. So I'll just show you right down here. You open it up. I'm going to pull this a little bit closer so I don't pull my microphone. And then you pop it on the wheel, and that will hold your machine in place so you can do straight line quilting. You have to put it on the wheel down here if you're going to do horizontal straight lines, but that's harder for you to see. So I'm just popping it here for you guys to see. So that is something, actually, I think the Moxie comes with one of these. You don't even have to buy it extra. It comes with one of these because they're so useful, so incredible to have. And I did want to say the pins that we were using to put this on the machine, these pins just look like really long corsage pins. I don't know if you can see that very easily. These really long corsage pins are incredibly helpful with pinning. You can use regular length pins. It just takes a little bit longer to get the backing loaded. So you will get a box of these when you purchase a long arm. These come with it. And a little tidbit for you, if you have anyone in your life who is an auto mechanic, you're going to want to cozy up to them, because you can get little tins like this from Handi Quilter. I'm sure that SMP has them. My biggest secret that I've found that I love, auto mechanic stores have twice as big pin magnet bowl, and I'm sure they use it for other things besides pins, but I'm not an auto mechanic. But that's my favorite tip I like to share, because I have a ton of pins and I want to have a place where they won't fall out, right? So those are the pins. I am going to show you another little tip before we get started. We are going to be using rulers today. This ruler is this HQ Skinny, and I've got something attached here that I'll show you. But this is the HQ Skinny. So I love this one for general ruler work because it has all of the grid markings on it. It even has a couple of different angular grids. I don't know. Can you see that? I got to put my hand behind it. Does that help with my hand behind it? I hope. Not sure which is better. Oh, good. So this has a bunch of grid marks on it, which I love. It's also really comfortable to hold in your hand, which is why I love this ruler. So my little tip with ruler work is the pop socket. So for anyone that doesn't have a cell phone, doesn't use a pop socket, this might be a new thing. Most people out there are going to know what a pop socket is, but this one is unique. because it's repositionable. It has a suction cup here on the bottom of it. And so it's something that you can buy one of these anywhere you find cell phone accessories. You can get it on Amazon. You purchase one of these and then you can use it for ruler work. And if anyone struggles with arthritis, or if your grip is a little weak, if your hand gets tired from doing a lot of ruler work, this is a great way that you can keep the ruler in your hand and you can continue to do ruler work, so it reduces the fatigue of your hand as you're going. So I'll show you. It literally just sits between your fingers, and I'm holding this ruler without any effort at all. Now, when you're quilting with it, you do still have to have a little bit of pressure on the ruler, and you have to be pressure down and pressure in towards the machine, but it's so much more comfortable to use an accessory like this. So this is just what it looks like in the case. This is just something I grabbed off of Amazon. So you can get it anywhere that you get phone accessories. And there's a bunch of different rulers that you can play with. I probably should show you. I just grabbed a few, but I love rulers, and we have so many really great rulers that we can play with. This is called the ditch ruler, and I love when you purchase the ruler, on the back of the packaging, it gives you a bunch of ideas on how you can use this ruler. So if you have one pop socket that's repositionable, that's key, and you have all your different rulers, then you're good to go for all of the different ruler work. So do we have another question?
Yeah, I think it's relevant to rulers.
Okay.
Somebody asked, can you lift the machine foot to use more involved Sew Steady templates?
I'm not very familiar with Sew Steady templates. So someone asked, can we lift the foot on the machine so we're able to use Sew Steady templates? And if I'm understanding the question, if I'm not answering this right, just put another comment in and I'll answer it. So I'll pull this out and show you. Sew Steady, I'm assuming, is a type of ruler that might have a cutout in it that you have to lift the foot to get inside the ruler. So yes, you can do that. This foot does lift up. I'm going to show you. I'll just put my finger down here underneath the foot and I can lift it up. It's that simple. It just lifts up just like that. So if you have a ruler with a cutout, you can totally lift it up and slide it under. See, just like this. And it will slide under so that you can get into any whatever sew templates you have, you can use. I will definitely recommend that any ruler you use on the long arm, this is a hard and fast rule for me. Any ruler you use on the long arm needs to be 1/4 inch thick. Do not try to use, rulers that you use for cutting out your fabric. Do not try to use those because they will slip underneath the foot as you're stitching, and then you're going to break your ruler and your machine will get put out of timing and it has to go see the doctor and you can't quilt for, a month. So don't try that one. We're going to do some basting here. I could just talk about this machine all day long, but I don't want to because we want to get a little bit of quilting time in. So what I'm doing now, I'm pulling up my bobbin thread and I'm doing that. There's buttons on the handlebars here and they're a little bit tricky to see, but here at the top I've got buttons. There's an up and down button to lift the needle, and there's a negative button, and on the other side there's a positive button and then a play button. And these are also, you can manipulate the machine and get it to go where you want it to go. The plus and the minus are to raise and lower the stitch length of the machine. So this machine's really cool because it can go all the way down to 4 stitches per inch. So it gives you a basting stitch, which is actually what I'm going to do. So I can do it here with my handlebars, or I can do it on my touch screen and go down to 4 stitches per inch. And now I'm ready to go and just start quilting. So if I turn it on, see how it automatically gives me 4 stitches per inch. Can you see right here? It's easier to see. Oh, sorry. There we go. You can see right here, it's easier to see on the white, and it's probably hard to see, but it is 4 stitches per inch, which we love for a basting stitch. We want to have basting around the whole edge of the quilt because that allows us to keep the quilt where we want it while we're stitching. You can also do basting through the middle of the quilt, especially if you're wanting to do some interesting custom quilting and you need the quilt to be held still. Basting just keeps it exactly where we want it. So I got to turn it off. There we go. Now I do my needle up button. I swing away, swing forward, and then I do the needle down, needle up to pull up my bobbin thread. Do we have another question?
Yeah, there was another question about rulers. someone was asking, should you only use long arm specific rulers, or can you use high shank rulers?
I've never measured a high shank ruler. Okay, sorry. The question was, do you need to use rulers specific to long arm quilting or to long arms, or can you use a high shank ruler? So if you measure the ruler and it's a 1/4 inch deep or bigger, you can use it on the long arm, but I really would be very careful, because if the ruler is not made specifically for a long arm machine, you can't guarantee that it's going to behave how it needs to. So I'm just going to hurry and base down this side, and then we'll get playing with the rulers. Rulers are so fun because they give you a really high finished look. That you, high finish is not the right word. I'm trying to say like a professional, that's the word, a professional finish, which you can do on a domestic as well, but it's a lot more difficult. So the cool thing, if you're used to quilting on a domestic, we have a new machine, a new version in the Moxie family that just came out. It's called the Moxie ST, and it's this Moxie machine, but it's on a table, so that you can sit at the table and you can move the quilt underneath the machine instead of moving the machine. And that's a really great option for people that have not very much space, but they still want to do a lot of quilting. So that's just a little side note. I had to put that plug in there because that is a new thing that just came out that we're all really excited about. So I'm going to show you a little bit of ruler work here. We're going to just do something here on this top block because it's going to be really easy to see this darker thread on this blue star. I also need to remember to bump up my stitches per inch. I'm going to go to 12. I like to be between 11 and 12. It's just a personal preference. So before we start, you have to make sure you have your ruler base plate on. And this one is specific to the Moxie. If you have a different machine, from the Amara family, the ruler plate is different between the two machines. So just keep that in mind. The only reason for that is because of this space here. The ruler plate, the base plate, is specific to the machine that way. So. Oh my goodness, I also wanted to show you, we can't start this until I show you all the goodies. We have so many different feet that come with this machine. And I told you that this machine comes with two feet already. This is what we're going to use when we're doing ruler work. This one is it's a high shank foot or a high collar foot. And this is what we have to switch to because it helps protect our rulers as well, our rulers and our machine. So I'll take this off and I can show you kind of the difference between the two once I get it off. Do we have another question?
Yeah, next time you do a tie-off, can you explain what you're doing?
I would love to. The question was, next time I do a tie-off, can I explain what I'm doing? Yes, I can. The tie-offs are very important so that you don't end up with your your threads coming out where you don't want them to. Some machines come with a tie-off feature included. Those are the upper level machines. The entry level machine does not have a tie-off, so I kind of just wiggle the machine back and forth so that it does the tie-off itself. Oh, I put that on without showing you. I'm so sorry. I was going to let you compare and contrast, which I don't have an option for now that I put it on. I will show you this though. Again, we have a lot of different feet with a lot of different options. I've put this high collar foot on. This one is the sure foot and it is for ruler work. If I put this one right next to it, you might be able to see that it's a lot. This is the the foot that comes with your machine. And this is the ruler foot, or the sure foot. You are going to have to purchase this one, but I would never try doing ruler work without it, just because you don't want to have problems and issues with your machine by, messing up the timing. The ruler still needs that higher collar to be butted up against so that you can get professional results. So this is what it comes with. Here's another tricky little foot. I always love talking about this one because it looks like it's broken, but it's not. This is our micro quilting foot. So if you like to do a lot of micro quilting, detailed quilting, art quilting, thread painting, where you're doing a lot of really intricate detailed work, this foot is one that you can get to help you get really good results with doing that. And all of these feet work between all of the Handi Quilter machines, which I love. So if you have a Moxie and you end up upgrading to something else, you can keep all of the feet that you've got. They'll work between the two. So let's come over here. I'll do a little bit of a tie off so you can see. What I like to do when I'm doing ruler work is I pick one point where I'm going to start, and sometimes I'll stand at the quilt for a bit and I'll stand here and stitch around, like stare at it to figure out where I'm going to stitch, to know what my thread path is, because as a quilter sometimes we don't want to have to break our thread, right? So I put the needle down, pull the needle up, and it pulls up my bobbin thread so that I have both threads on the top of the quilt. This is how you start, because you don't want to have to climb underneath your quilt sandwich every time you're starting and have to clip threads down there. So I do the needle down, and on this one you can push the start button to do a tie off and just kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit. And it just does a couple of stitches in one place, and that works as the tie off. You can also start stitching off of the quilt sandwich and then come onto the quilt if you're worried about that. So we have our ruler. We're going to jump into this. We have our ruler right here. I'm going to put the ruler right up against my foot, and I'm going to just stitch. And I'm coming up a little bit into the blue so you can see where we're starting. I moved my ruler too fast, so it's going to have a funny jog on here, but that's okay. I want to make sure you can see what we're doing. So I take my ruler, I place it up against the foot, and then I move the machine with my ruler staying still. I stop the machine, and then I reposition my ruler, and then I start the machine again. So I'm using this for, I just turned off my gears to make it a little bit easier to show you guys. I'm using the start and stop button kind of as as the start and stop, right? So that you can go into your corners and have really, really crisp corners, so that you come into a corner and you stop, reposition, move the machine, stop, reposition. And you can see once you kind of get the swing of it, you get into the rhythm of it. This actually is a really fast, easy thing to do. People can get intimidated by rulers, but they're incredibly fun, and there's so many different kinds of rulers you can do. Did we have any other questions?
Someone asked what micro-quilting is.
That is a great question. Someone asked what micro-quilting is. Micro-quilting is where you're going to do a lot of really dense stitching in a small area. You see a lot of it if you're going to be looking at like art quilts. People do a lot of micro-quilting on art quilts. I don't ever see, well, I shouldn't say not ever. I hardly ever see micro-quilting on utility quilts, you know, quilts that you're going to sleep on under the bed. So we've got that far. Let's pick a different ruler to try something new on the inside of this star. I'm going to use this multi-clamshell ruler. This is one that has clamshells on all 4 sides. And just a quick peek, everyone knows the basic clamshell, right? Where you have, you can do a row of arcs, I guess, of arches, and then you come underneath and offset them. This is a very classic look when it comes to quilts. Ruler work, it's kind of a vintage look. And I really like clamshells. But this ruler is cool because you can also use it to just create some curves inside a block. So I'm going to pop off my pop socket. I do have to pull it a little bit, but it is very incredibly sturdy as I'm using it. And I just place it, put it on just like that, and we're good to go. So I'm going to look here and kind of figure out which curve I want. If I do the smaller curve, this says it's the 2-inch curve. It's going to make it so I can bounce directly from corner to corner like this. If I do the bigger curve that is the 3 inches, I'm going to be coming too far, but it could create a cool half circle. If I slide my ruler down to the corner, you can create a smaller arch, but it's going to be, it'll still fit corner to corner. So that's the really cool thing about rulers, is you can get them to do a lot of different designs. I can't find where I put my other ruler, so we're just going to free motion it over here, you guys. Okay, I'm here in the corner now. I'm going to place my 2-inch clamshell here, and this is going to fit pretty perfectly. I'm really excited about this. And then I reposition, line it up, and then reposition. The fun thing about doing rulers is sometimes you have to bend a little bit like a contortionist. As long as you can comfortably place the ruler and you're not hurting yourself, please don't hurt yourself as you're doing this. You're going to end up with some really cool designs. So I'm going to lift, here, we'll pull the machine away. I needle up, needle down, right? Sorry, needle down, needle up, and that pulls up my bobbin thread. And then we can show you this really cool little flower that we've made with our clamshell. So rulers create a lot of really, really fun ways to do your quilting without anything like Pro Stitcher. Now, we do have Pro Stitcher on here. Pro Stitcher Lite is what comes with the Moxie XL, and it's not just the tablet. When you purchase Pro Stitcher Lite, it comes with the tablet. So this tablet here is Pro Stitcher Lite with the carriage, and because the carriage is different, and it comes with some extra strips that you put down on your frame so that it can read the X and Y axis to give you the best results possible. So do we have any more questions? I actually might have to pass it back to Jane here in just a minute. But if we have any other questions, I'm happy to answer those.
How did you make sure you were equidistant going all the way around the star? Like the same distance?
So someone asked, how did I make sure I was equidistant going all the way around the star? That is the grid markings on the rulers. And I can hold these up for you to see again. The really, really cool thing about doing ruler work, the needle, where the needle goes down, it will be exactly a 1/4 inch away from the edge of the foot, which means if I want to be stitching in the ditch, I'll place my ruler a 1/4 of an inch away from the ditch. If I want to be stitching into the design, I can put my ruler directly on the edge of the design and it will stitch into the design. So it's just a matter of learning how to place the ruler, and that's why our rulers come with all of these grid markings. We have on here, they go by a 1/4 inch. So here, this dotted line is a 1/2 inch, this full line is 3/4 of an inch, and it does not have a 1/4 of an inch marked because it's automatically assumed that this edge will give you a 1/4 of an inch away from the needle. So that was a really great question. This one also has markings. So as I was placing this to do the design around the middle of my star, I was following this line right here to place, can you see that line? To place that line on the seams that I've got in my block. So that was an excellent question. That's a great question. Was there anything else?
That's everything.
Okay.
You just said it was great.
Oh, great. I just need more time to quilt. I'm so chatty about these machines. All right, Jane, we're going to send it back to you, and I might do a little bit of ruler work here.
All right, this is awesome, Shauna. What a great demo. Question for you, talking about the ruler work. I mean, you make everything look so simple. If somebody out there's like, I haven't really done a lot of ruler work, what's like the learning curve? Because you're like, can you see this line? And I'm gonna go here. You make it look easy. If somebody hasn't done the clamshell, what's that curve? Is it just practice, practice, practice?
Yes, honestly, anything with doing on the long arm, you just have to be willing to sit down and try it. That's the biggest problem is I get people that have purchased a machine and then it sits unused for 2 years because they're too worried to try and turn it on and try something. So the way that I tell people to do something like ruler work, to try a new technique, you just get some scrap fabric and some scrap batting and just sit down and try it. And I would mark out, I wish I had I could talk to you about this for 8 hours straight. I would mark out a chalk line, and then with that, I would take my ruler and I would try it on every different grid marking that we have. I would place that on the chalk line and see how it sits and see where I need to place my needle, because it's very easy for me to talk about it because I do it a lot. It's intimidating when you think about it, but I promise it's really not that difficult. It's a really fun thing to play with and to try.
I'm curious if everybody's watching because, I was like, everyone's like, she's the best teacher ever. This is the best demo ever. What ruler should somebody start with? And then that's for you. And then for everybody else, how many people are doing ruler work? Just curious. But if someone is just getting started, is there a ruler that you love to start with?
Yes, I do. I love the skinny that I showed you. That's the one that I use all the time. And then I would say the Versatool. So this is the HQ Skinny. I love this because you're going to be able to do all sorts of stitching in the ditch, which is where I tell people to start when it comes to ruler work, because it's a little bit more forgiving that you can be on the inside of a block or an outside of a block, and it'll still look really good for stitching in the ditch, as long as you're consistent, right? And then this one is the Versatool, and it's, I wonder if you can
on the
see.
single screen so you can see it. There you go.
Is this better?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
So this is the Versatool. It has a curve right here. It has an indented straight line. So this is a great way for you to learn where your needle is going to sit, because you can follow the dotted line to get your needle lined up on a seam, which is incredibly helpful. And then we have a concave, or is this one convex? And then we have an angle right here. So this can help you get points, getting really good points coming into and out of a block. So these are the two that I would recommend, the Skinny and the Versatool. Those are really great places to start. So that was a really good question. Thanks, Jane.
Hey, you're welcome. I read it from our friends over here. Everyone's writing. Because people are, it's interesting too, because I'm just here and I'm watching and I'm thinking, oh, everybody knows exactly how to do that. But everyone's really like, this is the most useful demo I've ever seen. By the way, Purple Shenanigans says, this is my next purchase. So this is your next purchase. I want to ask too, do you want to talk a little bit about Pro Stitcher Lite? You want to throw the camera on that?
Sure. Can we throw the camera on Pro Stitcher? It'll take us a minute, but if you have time, I'd love to. I just didn't want to overstep your bounds. I'm going to show you how we do a Pro Stitcher. I'll just throw a design. I'll throw a design on here really fast. If you're okay with me taking the time, I would love to.
Please do. Yeah, everybody wants to learn about it. And I promised them a little bit more in the Pro Stitcher. And so this has been really great so far. So give us a couple minutes for sure. And then everyone can chime in with any questions while Shauna is getting that all set up. And we'll ask you that on the back end of this.
Awesome. Okay. I'm so glad you're okay with me spending a little time on that, because it's kind of hard to fit both rulers and Pro Stitcher into one demo, because there's just so much that you can talk about. So what I'm going to do with my Pro Stitcher, I have this blank section right here. I'm going to go through it really fast. Please do not be intimidated. Please know that there's a bunch of classes. There's videos on handiquilter.com that can show you how to get to where you want this to be really quickly. So I'm going to be manipulating the screen up here on my tablet up high, which you guys are not going to be able to see right now. But I will kind of talk through what I'm doing. So this tablet is what I'm going to be touching to kind of tell you what I'm populating. So I'm going to move my machine head, and I'm going to put the needle where I want to create an area on my with using Pro Stitcher. So I'm going to move from corner to corner, and I'm going to mark with the computer each corner so that I know where I'm going to put my design. And I can pick a design that will stitch out right in here, and I can manipulate that design to fit specifically in this space. It's really, really cool, because if you have a design that is, say, 12 inches and I'm working in a 6-inch space here, I can make that fit, which is really incredible. That's one of the main things I love about Pro Stitcher, is how versatile it is. And I'm going to pick a design that has some circles, because I love doing circles on the computer because they just turn out so crisp. They look incredible. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've pulled up a design. You can't see it, but you're going to see it here in a second as soon as I get it to stitch out. I'm going to reposition the design. So right now, when I told the design to show up, it comes up somewhere just on the screen. So I'm going to tell it that I want it to come down here, which is really easy to do. I would show you if we, again, this could take up to 12 hours because I just keep talking about it. I love it so much. So I have the design here. I'm ready to go. And it really was that quick to get this design where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to quilt. Oh my goodness. My motors are not engaged. Give me just a second. So the one thing I will tell you, that when you're working between Pro Stitcher and working free motion, you're going to have a need to turn off your machines. Oh, it's asking me for an update. So that's not what we want right now. It might be a little bit difficult if it's going to ask me for an update. Let me see if I can make it happen. So you have to turn off your gears when you are using Pro Stitcher, when you're not using Pro Stitcher, because if you're doing ruler work, it's going to get really clunky if the gears are turned on. And when I say gears, I'm talking about the gears that are connected to the computer so that it tells the computer to go in the X and Y axis direction. So I'm not sure if it's going to let me because it is asking for an update. I'm very sorry that I didn't have it. Let's try one more thing. Give me a second. So what I just did is I told the machine to reconnect to the motors. Sometimes that will work. The really cool thing about, oh, I need to say this too. Pro Stitcher, we have Pro Stitcher Connect now, where you can get access to your patterns direct on the tablet. You used to have to go to a computer, download the pattern, take it over, all of these kinds of things, just because the, in order to do that, it was hard to get the designs transferred back and forth. And now we have Pro Stitcher Connect. It does mean sometimes you have to do updates. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. I'm going to hurry and set up our frame space. Anyway, you do have to get updates occasionally because you are running, you know, a regular tablet. So what I'm doing right now is I'm setting up a frame space. And this is just a feature that we have with Pro Stitcher to protect the frame and the machine. And it just is telling the, there we go. It's going to be much happier now. We've got it all set up where we need it. Good, good. All right, I'm going to set my area one more time to make sure it's right where I need it. Oh, give me a second. I have to push this button here. Thank you. You guys are being so patient with me. So I've got this corner. I move down here and I tell it to put an area around this corner, and this corner. Perfect. It's exactly where we want it. Now I'm going to put it in. We're going to be able to tell it to stitch now. We're going to be off and running to the races. Now it's going to start here in the middle because the design I picked is just a block, but you can use this for doing edge-to-edge designs, and that's in fact what most people use when they're using Pro Stitcher. So Jane, thank you so much for letting me show this. I always love showing off Pro Stitcher, but I never know if I have enough time. So this is going to do just a simple block design. And when you get Pro Stitcher, it comes with several hundred designs automatically preloaded that you can just turn it on and play. You can do things like this when it basically fresh out of the box. And again, like I said, there's a bunch of tutorials on the website, handiquilter.com. You can find a bunch of them on YouTube as well. And I'm sure, I think all of the lives that Jane has done, I'm pretty sure you can go back and look at all of those with SMP and see all of the different lives that they've done, so you can see other tutorials using Pro Stitcher as well. So, and it was that fast to stitch out, and now we've got a really cute design in the middle of this blank block. So are there any questions about that? I know I went fast and I was pushing buttons I wasn't explaining because I was trying to get through. It was asking me for updates and I wasn't going to do it in the middle of teaching you guys. So I'm going to swing away. No questions? Oh, good. It could be that I just flooded you with too much information, which I don't want to do, but okay. We've got this. If you can you zoom in on that at all? There's something else really fun that you can do is you can restitch this design and just move it to another area of the quilt simply by moving your area. So I'll take this design. I'm going to come put it on this block. All I do is repopulate my area. I'm going to clear my area and set it up again. So you're going to hear little dings as I'm doing this. This is just so that it's the machine kind of acknowledging, saying, yes, you're putting an area here. Yes, I hear you, which I love. It's little dings of happiness. So we know it's doing what I want it to. Okay, and I'm going to tell it to stitch again. Now that I've got my area set, I'm ready to go. I'm going to hit the run button. It's going to move where we need it. I'm going to pick up my thread. This is a really cool trick. I'm holding the thread. I don't know if I did this really fast. I'm holding the thread. I'm going to scoop underneath the foot and it picks up my bobbin thread. Isn't that really cool? That's one of my favorite things to do. All right, we're going to tell it to stitch. While it stitches, I hold the thread for the first couple of stitches so that the thread is out of the way. And then once it starts stitching, I'll go in and snip the thread. And this is going to look really cool on this block. It's going to kind of mimic the design of the star already. And it's going to have some of those circles. Again, I love circles when you're doing computerized quilting. It really shows off the computerized quilting because it's hard to get really excellent circles when you're doing free motion. So, and when it comes to Pro Stitcher, there are 2 settings for stitching. There's precision mode and cruise. And that's something that you can always play with when you're going to be doing Pro Stitcher and doing ruler work. Like, I would suggest you play between the 2 different modes when you're doing ruler work too, so you learn which mode you like more than the other. So, great. It does its last few little stitches. It looks really slow as it's doing those. Those are the tie-off stitches. So I pull the machine away, come back forward. I'm going to lower my needle, raise my needle, swing away again, and it pulls up my bobbin thread, and then I'm ready to go. And that one's done too. So, all right. Do we have any questions? Is everything okay with you over there, Jane?
Everything
Okay.
is great.
It's
over
one
here.
of those things that I feel like we have to have perfect. Pro Stitcher is one of those things that you want to have a lot of time to really play with it because it can do some really incredibly powerful things.
Amazing. I'm so glad that you got to dive in a little bit, even if it wanted an update. I mean, that's just like real life, right? So you're demoing in real time. This is what we all go through. Little things like this, right? No one's perfect. This is how it goes, but it worked out for you anyway, because you're such a pro.
Yep. Oh, well, thank you.
So I think it's so interesting. You talked a little bit on the Pro Stitcher. You get the Pro Stitcher Connect, which is fantastic. So you don't have to go through your computer anymore. It connects wirelessly. And then you've got the precision mode and the cruise mode.
And we love it.
Is there one that you prefer over the other, or is it just sort of like a learning curve for each one of those that you like the best?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say there's a learning curve for each of those just because you kind of get to the point that you need a specific thing for like a specific tool for the job, right? When I'm doing the ruler work, I want the needle to be able to come into a point and stop. So I'm not going to be doing cruise because cruise will come in and just keep stitching if I get to the corner. So I use precision when I'm doing ruler work. And I use cruise. I'm pretty sure that Pro Stitcher just sets that cruise when it's going to be stitching for you anyway. Actually, I don't think it's an option. I have to think about that. It's been a minute. But I do cruise when I'm doing free motion because I do a lot of stippling and I do a lot of flowing feathers, all that kind of stuff. I love to have cruise going for that. So it's just the tool for the job. I would definitely suggest playing with both of them. You want to be comfortable with both of them for sure.
I love it. And the other thing that several hundred designs right out of the box, you start using it straight away, turn it on and start playing. Playing is the most fun part. That's what we're really into. And those dings, I got to tell you what, to me, those are like say okay dings. And our friend Cassie says those are dings of happiness. Lots of people love the dings. So and it's funny because we heard the dings prior to you saying, oh, the dings you're going to be hearing dings. And we all knew, because they sound like happy dings. It's like, yes, here's the ding. They also said, great way to...
They do. They are happy dings.
Yeah, they're happy dings. Great way to pick up the bobbin thread. And somebody had asked, Ella asked a while back, explain what you do at the end of stitching. You kind of showed that there just a little bit at the end.
It really depends on if you're using Pro Stitcher or not. Pro Stitcher does a lot of the machine slows down and does 5 tack stitches. That's its tie off. That's how it ties off the design, and then you can snip it and you're good to go. Some people don't like, okay, so I'm trying to talk about burying your thread. So you can tie off the thread and then bury it into the quilt top, which is a great way to not cut the thread if you're worried about it not tying off well. So that's a whole nother skill that I definitely recommend people learn as well. It's very simple. You would just leave the long tails of thread and you would manually tie a knot and then thread it on a needle and just weave it in between the quilt top and the quilt backing into the quilt sandwich. That's a perfect way to handle tie-offs too. So there's a couple of different ways to approach it. If I'm not using Pro Stitcher, I'll just have the machine do a couple of different stitches right in a really tiny area, so that acts as a tie-off as I'm quilting.
Perfect. I love all the tips and tricks. I gotta tell you, some of my favorite, you showed us like the machine, the Pro Stitcher, the rulers, like all super good. But my favorite top tips are just like real. And that's using the auto mechanic magnetic little bowl. That is such a great little top tip. And then the cell phone pop socket. That's awesome too. Yeah. I love it. I mean, that's why we're all together.
It's a favorite of mine.
Why we're all together to share these great tips. And Shauna, you're amazing. I want everyone to go to handiquilter.com right now if they want to learn more. But how can they find you, follow you? What if they want more after this?
Great question. I am on social media. It's Ladybug Threads Quilting. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're looking on Facebook, I do have a group for free patterns for a free block of the month. It's a mystery block of the month. And we're almost done with this year, but we've got one getting ready for next year. So come and join us there. That's called So Easy Block of the Month.
So Easy Block of the Month, and Ladybug Threads, that is .com, and then Ladybug Threads _quilting on our Instagram. And then one last thing, you talked, and this is super cool because today, Shauna, if somebody's buying a long arm, they could choose the bundle that they want to go along with it. So one of them is the highlight, the light, which we love, but one is the ruler bundle, and you talked all about rulers. So that's super cool. And then the other one is digital designs, which then you talked about Pro Stitcher. So it's hard to pick.
It is. When I first got my long arm, before I got into all of this, they had a similar deal going, and I chose the highlight because I'm in a basement where I quilt. And so you got to kind of pick and choose. And at the time I needed more light. But if I were going to do it again, I'd probably go with the ruler bundle. I love rulers, and they're so versatile. I could do this entire quilt top with rulers, and it would look gorgeous. Just as gorgeous as doing Pro Stitcher, so maybe that's no help. But I would say go with the rulers.
Okay. I love that. Listen, when I was going through the bundles, I was thinking light as well. But then you showed us the rulers. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, so I don't know. I feel like you actually made that free bundle decision a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I might have. Rulers are a good way to go, though. I would start with rulers.
Okay. You heard it here first, friends. Shauna likes the rulers, but it's up to you. You can pick whatever free bundle that you want. Everybody, please say thank you to Shauna Westergard from Handi Quilter. I love this demo. You can find her again, ladybugthreads.com. Of course, go to handiquilter.com to learn more. But we're going to tell you how you can get your hands on this machine today with Pro Stitcher Lite. And oh, by the way, if you want to get your free bundle of rulers, you can do that. Shauna, thank you so much. We will see you soon. I love Shauna. I'm going to come visit your basement and hang out with you and the kids and the techie husband. And we won't be on a delay. We'll just talk.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Shauna. Let me tell everybody how to get their hands on the Pro Stitcher Lite and the Moxie XL. You saw her demo it. It is truly amazing. You can see that Moxie XL with Pro Stitcher Lite right there. You see the retail price. Yeah. Okay. Guess what? SMP live pricing. You see it right there, $13,990. But guess what? Because it is SMP Live Thursday, and it's our friend Blaine. You're gonna call in for special pricing. You know Blaine and his wink pricing. Call 800-401-8151. And again, you got that 0% financing for 60 months happening now through September 4th with any Handi Quilter machine. But if you're thinking of this one, I mean, Shauna did an excellent job of telling us all about that Moxie XL from Handi Quilter. Again, it is that oh so fun user experience. It's easy to learn. It's got new features, going to help you finish your own quilts with incredibly smooth stitching. We love that. Let me talk a little bit about the features. You've got that 11-inch color touchscreen computer mounted on the stitch regulated quilting machine. You're seeing it there. You've got 250 plus preloaded designs. Now, remember, Shauna said straight away, right out of the box, you can pull it out and start playing. That's so fun. Or you can choose the bundle with more digital designs. And they've got that on-screen grid and ruler to measure your designs or area on the quilt. You've got position designs by simply moving your fingers across the screen. Thank you very much. You can resize, rotate, and repeat designs to fit specific areas. There's so many features. You've got that variable speed and stitches per inch settings. You got horizontal and vertical channel lock. I love that. And you're looking here, the size of it's about 25 by 19 by 10, and it's only 20 pounds. That's the Pro Stitcher Lite. Of course, we are loving the Moxie XL and Pro Stitcher Lite. You've got lots of straightforward features on the Moxie XL. You've got the easy to use controls, 18 inches of throat space to get creative. I know somebody popped in and said, hey, 18 inches. That is awesome. And you've got really practical features like that bright lighting and touchscreen controls that make this simple, spunky long arm the perfect quilting machine to customize and make your own. Now, I will tell you this. Again, think about that 0% financing for 60 months. Most other vendors can only offer you 36 to 48 months, but because it is Handi Quilter, because it is Sewing Machines Plus, you're getting 60 months, 0 interest financing. Thank you very much. And again, don't forget, you get that free bundle with any long arm machine that you choose today. You can choose the Highlight Light. You can see it there right over the machine. And of course, they're going to send you the one that fits the frame that you get, either 5 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot. And then you see it there, the ruler bundle. Look at all those rulers that you're getting there. We know Shauna, she was leaning that direction today. But hey, listen, if you want to just go, you get digital designs. You can pick that bundle there as well. So get really creative with these new designs. Now, again, that is your Moxie XL with Pro Stitcher Lite. Today is the day. If you are thinking you want this because of that 0% financing, this is a great way to get this machine into your home and start quilting right away. Call 800-401-8151. But guess what? Because it is Handi Quilter and because it is Sewing Machines Plus, we've got other machines that might interest you today as well, especially because of the free bundle and especially because of that 0% financing. Let me tell you about it. You've got the Amara 24 and your quilting frame. You see it right there. You see your retail pricing. You see your live pricing. But again, you can call now for that wink, wink call-in special, 800-401-8151. And again, you get that free bundle and that 0% financing for 60 months. That's the Amara 24 and your quilting frame. But that's not all, friends. That's not all. You also have you can choose from the Moxie 15 with your 8-foot loft frame. And you see the pricing right there, the retail price, $59.95. But look at your S&P live pricing, $49.95, 60 months, 0%. I mean, look at the price there. You can't not buy it. 800-401-8151 for the Moxie 15 with the 8-foot loft frame. And again, you could choose from these 3 machines, or of course the Moxie XL. Did we already show the Amara 20? Or am I going too fast for my brain? My mouth might be going, there you go, the Amara 20 and quilting frame. You see the pricing right there. But again, S&P live pricing, $12,295. 0% financing, 16 months. You're looking at $205 a month for all of the fun, creativity, all of the quilting that you can do. But call for the wink, wink, blame pricing, 800-401-8151. But again, back to the start of the show, back to Shauna, back to what we're talking about today. And that is the Moxie XL Pro Stitcher Lite. S&P live pricing today, $13,990. Call 800-401-8151. Get it in your cart today. Get it shipped out. Get it in your craft room, your quilt room. Get it in your living room. I don't care where you put it. Let's go. Let's sew. Let's quilt. Of course, you've got that 0% financing. So that is a really fantastic deal for today. And we're talking, you get that financing and the free bundle. Again, pick from the light. Shauna got the light the first time. Or you can do the ruler bundle. Shauna said, oh, I love the ruler bundle today. Or again, when we went into that Pro Stitcher light and she just said, here's how you do it. You get already 250 designs with the machine. And now you're getting more free digital designs with this bundle. I don't know how you're going to choose. Maybe you choose one bundle and then you just buy another one if you really want that. What do you guys think about that? I know. Again, call 800-401-8151. If you want to get your hands on any of these machines today. I think I'm super excited though. The 0% interest financing is, everyone's always talking about financing, and this is for 60 months. So I'm excited about that as well. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super inspired to create. I am super inspired to quilt. I am super inspired to get moving and grooving, to start making my own quilts. I'm not sure. Like I think the Moxie XL, because that was our demo today, unless you are looking for a different size or a different machine. But I like what we talked about today. I hope you're excited about it too. Buy it. Somebody just wrote, who was it? Roxanne, buy it. Roxanne, you're funny. That was super fun, everybody. So I can't let you go without a proper send off, as Blaine would, and that is prizes. So let's do some prizes. What do you say? If you're excited for prizes, yes, give me a oh yeah in your text message, because we're going to do some prizes. And I think we'll get to the first prize as we watch you go by. Oh yeah, cool. Yes, prizes would be nice. We love prizes. Thank you, friends. Tiffany, Barbara, Lori, Pamela, Teresa, Gina. Thank you. Okay, first we're going to do the SMP bag bundle. Each one of these bags has a cute little funny phrase. Mine is full of fabric. You'll get the entire bundle. You can buy them, but why not win them today? So I want you to put in the chat box the word bag, B-A-G. Put in bag. I'll let you give you a couple seconds to put the word bag in there. Just bag, just B-A-G. I know you want to put an S on it. Just do B-A-G, just as in one bag bundle. There you go. Thank you. Bag, here we go. I'll give you a couple more seconds. I'm still deciding on what bundle I want to get. Wow, I really like those rulers, but the light is always so good. Okay, I think we look good with bags in there. And Kyle, spin the wheel. Here we go, friends. I hope you win the bag bundle. That's going to be super exciting. And thank you so much for hanging with us today on Facebook and YouTube. Claire Tinjum, congratulations. Claire hanging with us on YouTube today. Claire, thank you for spending your morning or your afternoon with us today on SMP Live. What you need to do to redeem your bag bundle is go to smplive.tv. Scroll to the bottom. You'll see where you can fill in all the information that you want to prize. Give us your address and SMP will send those bags right out to you. You have 30 days to redeem your prize, Claire. And thank you for hanging with us on YouTube. And that goes for everybody. If you win a prize, you got 30 days to redeem it. But I would just redeem it right now since you're on your computer watching. What's our next prize, guys? Ooh, the SMP world famous sewing mats. I love these mats. They're so good. And I would be remiss if I did not say, if Blaine were here, he would say, if you don't have a sewing mat, you're doing your machine a disservice. I don't know how many of you hear that when you are working on your sewing machine, if you don't have a mat underneath it, or if you do. By the way, the word is going to be mat. Thank you for putting that in there. And I'm going to let you put mat, M-A-T, put that in the chat box. And while we're getting those, you're sitting at your sewing machine and you hear Blaine's voice saying, well, you're doing your machine a disservice if you don't have a mat. So I hope you win a mat. They've got tons of colors, different sizes, something to fit the machine that you have at home. Okay. I think we're ready. I keep talking. All right. So if we got Matt in the chat box, let's spin the wheel, Kyle. Yeah. So again, when you when you get a mat, they have all the different sizes. You can get a color or even a pattern that matches your favorite color that you're going to wear for the rest of your life. Roxanne Van Gelder hanging with us on YouTube. Hey, Roxanne, I love your picture with your coffee mug. Congratulations. You win a sew mat. Just go to smplive.tv to redeem your mat. You got to go down to the bottom, fill out all the information. But the most important thing to do is tell us what color you want and what size you want, and they will get that out to you. I know, big decisions here. It's like a Greek diner menu, but you're going to have to pick, and they'll send that out to you, and then you will be taking care of your machine, and everybody in the S&P Nation will be so happy for you. Okay, amazing. Again, 30 days to redeem that prize. What else do we have in the prize closet? Oh, how about a $25 gift card? I love how much we play when Blaine's not here. All right, $25 gift card. Put card in the chat. CARD. Put card in the chat for that $25 gift card. I mean, that helps. It goes a long way. I hope you win. I hope all of you win, even though one person can only win. Here we go. As I see the cards rolling in, more and more coming. I'll give you 3 more seconds. Oh boy, this is exciting. And Kyle, spin that wheel. Here we go. Card for a mat. Yeah, I guess. If you want the mat, you can use your card to buy the mat. That's a good idea. Here we go. Oh, Galen Talbot hanging with us on YouTube. Congratulations. $25 gift card. That's going to you. What will you buy with your gift card? Probably some of you have other gift cards. You're just waiting to like rack them all up. You'll get enough to buy an entire Moxie XL. Congratulations, Galen. You need to go to smplive.tv to redeem your prize so we know that you won it. Now, here's what happens with a gift card. You're going to give us all your information and you'll give us your email, and they will send you the gift card via email for you to use either in store or online. Again, you have 30 days from today to redeem your gift card. Congratulations. I love it. Kyle, do we have any more prizes in the prize closet? Oh my goodness. This is the prize of the century. How about your very own DIY by Jane mug? That is my little logo with my little world. So I'm excited for somebody to drink out of the mug. It's a 15-ounce coffee mug. Just put mug, M-U-G, mug. Put that in the chat box. On the flip side of it, and we don't have a picture of it, but it says more is more and less is a bore. And if you have watched any of these shows with me, you know that that is what I say. I have like 7,000 items in my sewing room, in my studio. And again, more is more and less is a bore. So I love that. Okay, mug is going in, and mug is just M-U-G. Roxanne, fix that because you don't want it to be M-U-F-G. And I will get that out to you. But here we go. Kyle. Spin the wheel. Imagine just drinking that delicious cup of coffee out of your DIY by Jane mug. And then you could be sewing. Congratulations, Ukno May. Congratulations. Hanging with us on YouTube. You're the winner of the DIY by Jane mug. You don't have to have coffee. You could put like chicken broth in it. You could put tea in it. You could put a cold beverage in it, whatever it is. But here's what you need to do. Go to smplive.tv to redeem your prize. Put in all the information, where we're sending it, all that good stuff. And then I will make sure that that mug gets sent to you. Congratulations, Ukno. I feel like I'm saying your name wrong, but I really am excited that you are the winner. So congratulations to all of our winners today. And thank you so much for hanging with me. I want to remind you, if you're still iffy, 800-401-8151. If you have any questions, the experts at S&P can help you answer all of those questions. They are there waiting for you. This is a great deal with that 0% financing for 60 months. Remember, anybody else is going to be 36 months or giving you that 60 months. So thank you so much. If you're thinking about it, any of the other machines, they can help you out there as well. Of course, smplive.tv is where you go for more questions. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm happy to hang with you. Go to Jane Clauss, C-L-A-U-S-S, JaneClauss.com. I've got a podcast there all about creative living, and about all sorts of fun fun ideas, and it's all fun. This is what we're doing. We're inspiring each other to be creative. I am so grateful to Blaine and SMP for letting me hang with you for the last 90 minutes. You guys are wonderful. I'll check with me on social media too. Just search for @Jane Clauss. I'm all over there as well. But I love you guys. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.